This state has a clear list of features that make it a state. Among them, the presence on the territory of a single authority, uniform laws, the main center of power with a monopoly on violence, a system for collecting funds for the budget, as well as the presence of clearly defined boundaries. Today's Russia is in trouble with all of these signs.
Russia is already showing all the signs of a failed state right now. The first signs are obvious. The panicking military political elite absolutely does not correspond to the level of tasks and simply watches how the control system is rapidly failing apart. Lost control of a part of the territory, a complete lack of ability to comply with the social contract and perform the service functions of the state. Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of office of the President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
The full-scale war against Ukraine revealed serious problems in each of the hallmarks of Russian statehood. Thus, the very existence of many private military companies, banned by Russian law, already calls into question the factor of a monopoly on violence. And the open confrontation between Wagner PMC and the Russian Ministry of Defense blurs the concept of a single center of power. The problem of the lack of sovereignty in Russia is exacerbated by the operation of Russian volunteers in the Belgorod region. After all, the territories they control are not subject to Moscow.
What is happening now and already happening in the Belgorod region is a demonstration of the weakness of the basic principles on which the Russian Federation is now built. This is power control over the territory, a rigid power vertical of dominance of the central government. We see that, in fact, the central government has withdrawn itself even from commenting on such a conflict. At the same time, the entire burden of this commentary was really taken on by the local authorities, who could not give a normal framework for a way out of this situation. For many citizens who lived in the border areas of Russia, this created a certain rigid frame of panic.
Perhaps the only sign of statehood that Russia continues to demonstrate consistently is the collection of taxes to feed the budget. But this does not apply to everyone. Any of the countless Russian corrupt officials can confirm it, but Putin himself destroyed the clear borders of his country. The decision to allegedly include the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine into the Federation has no significance at the international level. The borders are the same as in 1991, but within Russia this creates a huge gray area of law and a precedent that national republics can use to gain independence in the future.
Russia spinning this narrative then logically raises the question of its territory. That is, if you talk about the fact that the borders are not defined, well, then really, what about your borders? What about Ichkeria? What about others? What is the situation there? But this is only, let's say, part of some possible discussion, polemic. Speaking precisely from the point of view of international law, all Russia's actions to change borders are insignificant.
For years, Kremlin propaganda has hammered into the heads of Russians the thesis that Ukraine is allegedly a failed state. And that's just 15 months of a full-scale Russian war. Ukraine continues to fulfill all state obligations to its citizens and international partners. And Russia, on the contrary, is getting closer and closer to the real status of a failed state. Reported by Pavlo Štermach, Danilo Kobza, UATV News.